Now, pilots' non-adherence to the standard operating procedure is the probable cause of the Air India Express plane crash at the Kozhikode airport in Kerala last year. This, according to a report by the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau of India. Now, the report adds that the role of the systemic failures and Air India Express's poor crew resource management cannot be overlooked as contributing factors. Now, the crash involving a Boeing 737-800 aircraft killed 21 people, including the two pilots. Several others were also injured in the crash that happened on the 7th of August 2020. The fatal accident occurred as the pilots attempted to land at the airport amid rain. The aircraft overshot the runway and later broke into 3 pieces. There were 190 people on board when the crash happened on the 7th of August. The 2 pilots who died in the accident were Deepak V. Sathe and Akhilesh Kumar. Now, the AIB has listed 57 findings about the crash and made several recommendations. The report, which is more than 250 pages long, says, and I quote, "Probable cause of the accident was the non-adherence to standard operating procedure by the PF or the pilot flying," unquote. Now, the report details the events which led to the crash of the flight, which was a part of the Vande Bharat mission. Firstly, the pilot continued an unstabilized approach and landed beyond the touchdown zone halfway down the runway. Secondly, the flying pilot ignored a go-around call by the PM or the pilot monitoring. Now, this warranted the pilot to abort the landing and try again. And thirdly, the report highlights the failure of the pilot monitoring to take over controls and execute a go-around. Various other reasons have been listed as contributing factors, which include Air India Express's poor crew resource management, possibility of visual illusions due to low visibility, and suboptimal performance of the pilot in command's windshield wiper. Pointing at faulty HR policy of Air India Express Limited, the report said the actions and decisions of the pilot were steered by a misplaced motivation to land back at Kozhikode to operate next day morning flight. Now, the unavailability of sufficient number of captains at Kozhikode was the result of faulty HR policy. The AAIB has made 43 safety recommendations, including the installation of an approach radar at the aerodrome and a DGCA study to establish the prevalence of use of non-prescribed medications among aircrew, especially for diabetes. The AAIB has also suggested strengthening its own capacity in terms of filling up vacancies in full-time investigators, having a permanent aviation medicine specialist, and establishing a state-of-the-art lab for flight recorders. Meanwhile, India's Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Skinida has pledged to implement the recommendations. Skinida has said, and I quote, "Whatever steps that have been advocated on the basis of that report, those steps will be and have to be executed," unquote. Meanwhile, the final compensation offers have been sent to the next of kin of the deceased passengers and the 165 injured passengers. Only 73 have accepted the compensation so far.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.